Okay, here we're going to take a look at RackDefocus running inside of Nuke. This is a Sapphire plugin. It's one of the more popular plugins. Does a really good job of simulating a camera defocus. So we'll take a look at how RackDefocus operates, and then we'll take a look at Convolve, which is a similar plugin used for getting a RackDefocus type of look with a custom lens shape. I just want to start by playing this clip back and showing you the entire clip is done in focus here. And go ahead and apply the Sapphire RackDefocus to show you how it's actually going to preserve the highlights and the shapes of any of these lights. So here in the lights as well as here on the cars. So go to my Sapphire plugins, go to the blur family, and take a RackDefocus plugin. I'm just going to connect that here to my source and connect the output. So you can see instantaneously it's doing a true camera defocus. And I can go ahead and adjust the width of the defocus by either using my on-screen controls or by using the defocus with slider in the effect editor. So you can see here as I do that, it's going to preserve the circle of confusion in all the highlights. And what's also nice is we've got an option to boost your highlights. So if I go here and show you the boost highlights option, the boost highlights controls, what it's actually going to do is add further gamma to your highlights. You can see that coming in there. So that's the boost highlights option, and again, it's only affecting your highlights. It's not affecting your midtones at all, which is really, really nice. You have a whole lot of different controls over the lens shape and the lens type. One thing you can do is actually show your lens shape. So I've got by default a circle, but I can change it to 3 sides, 4 sides, 5 sides, and so on and so forth. I'm going to show you the show shape checkbox here. When you click on this, it's actually letting you look at your lens shape separate from the result. So it's actually zooming in, zoom up here, showing me my lens shape. I've got a 4-sided shape here. I can do some further rotation if I want to. If I want to set keyframes for that, I can add some roundness. So there's really a whole lot you can do in terms of customizing the lens shape to getting all sorts of different geometric looks. I've got a control for bokeh, and bokeh is just going to soften the outer edges with a positive value, and it's going to give you a ring type defocus from the inside going out by softening the inside out with a negative value. From there I also have lens noise. I can add that, so if I want bits of imperfection and whatnot, and dust and simulate that, I can do that. I'll take my bokeh back to 0 and go back and unclick my show shape checkbox. So when I unclick that, you can see again my result from the lens we were looking at is now projected on screen as my defocus lens, and all the things that I was showing you with the show shape checkbox selected, such as rotation, bokeh, and lens noise, that can all be done while you're looking at the result. You don't have to necessarily click on the show shape checkbox. It's just that some people prefer to do that. Another nice thing we have is the ability to mix with a source. So if you want to do a blend with your original, just turn up your mix with source, and you can see it's actually blending the defocus result with the original unaffected result there. Go back and take that back to 0 to look at our default, or our result rather. And I want to show you another plugin called Convolve. And Convolve is similar to RackDefocus. It actually has a couple additional features, but what we're going to focus on in this example is how you can get it to work just like a RackDefocus. So the nice thing about RackDefocus is you have the lens editor. You have the show shape checkbox, and you can start adjusting your shapes and your sides and all that good stuff. But if you have a shape that's maybe more asymmetrical, or a particular camera lens you yourself want to try to mimic, you can create that geometry separately and then input that as a lens shape. So to do that, I'm going to go ahead and delete RackDefocus here and just go ahead and load up Convolve. And to do that, I'm going to go back to my Blur and Sharpen family, click on Convolve. And you can see here it's got a second input. I don't know how clear that comes out, but it's got a second input here, and it's asking for what's called a kernel. Basically, just think of it as a lens. So what I'm going to do is use this shape here, the Apple logo that I found, and that's my geometry, and that's going to be my lens to do a camera defocus. So I'm going to connect that as my kernel, and as I make the size smaller here, the kernel size, you can see that actually that Apple logo is what's being used as my camera lens. To further boost up my my highlights, I'm just going to do just that and turn up the boost highlights option, so you can really see that shape a little more clearly. There you go. And voila, I've got myself a custom lens shape doing a RackDefocus. It does not have, the Convolve plugin does not have all the options for showing your shape and adding noise and animation and all that, because the idea is you actually make that yourself ahead of time and then input that image as your kernel inside of Convolve. So there you have it. You have both RackDefocus and Convolve working inside of Nuke Sapphire plugins.